Totem Park is a central attraction at the Capilano Suspension Bridge, and one that introduces visitors to the ancient native art of carving. The carvers that share their talents here also work to educate the public, often about the misconceptions surrounding these poles and their history. Even though this place is called Totem Park, traditional carver Ben Spencer points out that these are not called totems.
Totem is an old Spanish word meaning idol. They thought we prayed to them or worshiped them, and we never did. They're all individually named, just like we are. The three main poles in which we do are honor poles to honor a person or group, memorial poles honor high-ranking persons passed on, and then we do the animals, and they represent our family system called clans. So it's a lot like a last name, coat of arms. And the stories they represent aren't the whole history. They talk a lot about the beginning, like the first contact with an animal, significant contact. And there's over 40 different animals which we use as our clan system.
The poles each tell a story and offer a unique method of preserving history and tradition across the First Nations.
There's over 70 nations here in this province of British Columbia. Out of them, there's 12 nations that carve, and each of those nations have a very distinct style. There's a very distinct northern and southern style. The northern nations, we use red and black. We don't paint the whole pole, as you can see some poles here, and you can see some other poles that are painted from top to bottom, and they use different colors other than red and black. So the colors are a lot like colors of flags, regions, or territories. So that's what they represent.
The saying, "low man on the totem pole," comes from another popular misconception.
With our carvings, the figure on the bottom is the most important. The one on the bottom is holding up the story, just like a tree. The tree grows from the roots up. Same with our stories. The story is read from the bottom to the top.
The work of Native traditional carvers draws much attention today. But before 1953, it was actually illegal for the First Nations people to practice their culture through art or speak their traditional languages. Because of those laws, many of the ancient traditions were nearly lost. But young artists like Ben are now preserving this history through their work.
We don't consider this stuff art. It's a spirit, mind, body of a people. So with that, being a traditional Haida carver, my one goal is to strengthen the honor and respect of the Haida Nation, one carving at a time.
Totem Park offers a unique opportunity to witness the power of a culture that embraces nature wholly and builds history by sharing time and passing on stories, as you may too. The First Nations' respect for land, conservation, and family is something that RVers are increasingly beginning to echo. Quiet family time and a roaring fire offer the perfect opportunity to pass on your own traditions and tales from one generation to the next, as the First Nations have for thousands of years. The poles in Totem Park are so beautiful, you'll wish you could bring them along with you.
Granted, large carvings may be a little conspicuous for your onboard decor, but the Capilano Park gift shop does sell smaller versions that'll give your rig the perfect West Coast accent.
And the advantage to being here in the winter is that the skies are often cloudy, which means your photographs of the poles should turn out beautifully.
If you're looking for a base camp that will allow you access to both the city of Vancouver and Vancouver Island, you'll want to check out Park Canada in the nearby town of Delta. Located on Highway 17, about 40 minutes south of downtown Vancouver, this campground is in close proximity to the Victoria Ferry Terminal. If you've made plans to tour Vancouver Island, you can board the ferry here in your RV. It will allow you easy access to Victoria, Nanaimo, and a wealth of attractions in the southern tip of the island. Arriving in the so-called off-season, we were happy to see that this campground is open all year round. A number of campgrounds are closed around Vancouver in the winter as RV traffic lightens up. And although dry docking is fine for a couple of days at a time, it's nice to be able to fill your water tanks and give your generator a break. Park Canada offers 140 sites, though only 8 of them are pull-throughs. So if you're driving an especially large rig, you want to make sure to call ahead for reservations. Most sites offer water and electric hookups, but note that the service here is 30 amp only. If your system requires 50 amp service, you may want to use this park as a stopover location rather than planning an extended stay. Park Canada does offer laundry and shower facilities. There's a convenience store and a propane fill too, should you need to stock up on supplies. And with a water park next door and an 18-hole golf course across the road, this is an easy spot to entertain the family if you're visiting in the summer. To make your reservations, you can visit the campground online at www.parkcanada.com.